Turkey now.
Yes, in Turkey now. Southern Turkey. It's called what?
Called
Urfa.
Urfa.
Urfa, right. You been there?
Actually, my grandparents are from there.
From Urfa? Wow, God, you're in the, this is the center of all good things. I'm dying to go to Urfa. You've got contacts I can visit in Urfa?
Nobody we know.
Nobody left? You all left? So you're Syriac Christian?
Yes.
Oh, wow, wow, that's fantastic. Syria, we have a real original. This is a fossil you're looking at. She's like a, you know, and you see in her questions that she really is into this stuff, but she really is a, you know, it remains out of the past because the people that she represents or is a descendant of were some of the original Christians in Syria. And many of them live in Iraq today too. And there's a lot of trouble now with the Islamic fundamentalists who don't like, you know, other groups crowding their space. So I think 1 or 2 Syriac churches have been bombed. People have been killed. Try to intimidate them, make them go away. And so, where did your family go after Edessa?
After the, I guess, 1920s with the
With all the massacres, Turkish massacres?
they left.
But then you weren't Armenian?
No.
No. Okay. But the Syriac Christians felt threatened as well as the Armenians?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. So where did they go then, after that?
Some went to Syria and some to Lebanon.
And then, so your family went to Syria, Lebanon. And then, how long did they stay in Lebanon?
Actually, some of my family's still there.
Still
We
there.
just came here, so I was born there.
Yeah. Where were you born?
Beirut.
Yeah, what part? The northern part?
And Beirut, East Beirut.
East Beirut. So, what's the situation in Beirut these days? Is it calmed down a bit, or is it still a little bit worked up?
It's you know how it is. People
I
can't
know
really
it
talk.
is. What?
People can't really talk.
No,
They want
of
the
course
Syrians out, but they can't say.
Yeah, I understand that. But what's the situation between the, well, first of all, in Lebanon you'll have Maronite Christians, and you'll have your Syriac Christians, and there'll be Armenians as well, and but then you'll have all the Shiite different groups, and then you'll have the Sunni groups, and you'll have the Druze groups, and so on. So what's the situation between all these groups? Are they in some sort of calm at the moment, or they're still worked up?
No, they're calm.
You got the Palestinians, whatever left of them as well. So you've got a lot of different splinters in Lebanon. So people basically tolerate each other at the moment. Yeah. Well, that's the way it's always been before the Islamic fundamentalists got some crazy extremist agitation in their brains. And this happens periodically in the Islamic culture sphere. Every once in a while, every couple of 100 years, some extremists come along and work up the mass and become very fanatic, and then after a while it peters out. But the problem today is that our country has been drawn into it, and that so we've become a target of this extremist feeling because we're perceived as protecting some of the groups that the extremists want to get rid of. So then you have to get rid of the great Satan before you can get rid of the other groups. Because in places like Iran, they were already persecuting the Baha'i people. And they were executing lots of Baha'i as Muslims who had abandoned the religion and therefore should be killed. And so lots of Baha'is in Iran were being executed when the revolution began, and of course other resistance groups were being persecuted. But as soon as a country like America is perceived as protecting or trying to intervene on the part of some of these groups, then the extremists go away from the weak ones and start to try to focus on what they consider to be the real problem, the ones who are protecting them, us. So that's why we're in Israel too and everything else. So that's why America is a big target, you know, because the extremists can't do anything where they want to without undermining our influence, frightening us. They're doing a good job. Americans are frightened. And I don't frankly understand what they're frightened of, honestly. I mean, there's absolutely nothing to be frightened of. I can't imagine what they imagine there is to be frightened of. Just got to send their army out there and deal with what has to be dealt with, and that'll be the end of that. But they're so spooked about military things, and since the Vietnam War, and so many people enjoy being anti-war agitators and things like that. They get a lot of spiritual pleasure out of it, being protesters and things, and always seeing the worst side of things and the darkest side of things. That America becomes incapable of action. So we become a target, and we become frightened. This threat that we're facing is absolutely nothing. It just has to be dealt with. But poor Bush is collapsing under the weight. Hasn't dealt with it very, very well. And the other guys are beating him over the head and so on. And the country is totally adrift just because some crazy lunatic out in the wilds of Afghanistan sent some suicide squads here. Can you imagine if he'd done here what he does in places like Lebanon or Israel or in Iraq or these places? I mean, where they get suicide bombings every single day. This country would be like falling to pieces. Very sad. I can't imagine what the people here are thinking in their heads. Their reactions are very. They don't give one a feeling of confidence in their ability to withstand pressure. I hope that will change, but it doesn't look to me like it's going to improve. Anyway, having said that, we have a fossil here, and Edessa, where her family originally came from, was the center, according to this document here, of where Christianity began. And if she reads my James book, she will discover that I consider Edessa to be the original Antioch. That we are mistaken when Paul speaks about being in Antioch, and when Acts speaks about being in Antioch. I don't think anything was happening in the Antioch by the Mediterranean Ocean, Antioch on the Orontes, as it is called. And what people don't realize, even people from Edessa, now Urfa in Turkey, because it's been absorbed into southern Turkey, that what they don't realize is that Antioch, pardon me, Edessa, I don't even know where that word came from, the Edessenes or whatever, I think it comes from the word ad, and has something to do with the prophet that was recognized by them, Adai and Ad. But originally, when the Seleucids, who we know now, founded these cities,